Hello and welcome. This is going to be, what do I even call it? This is going to be a collective energy check-in for the coming Lionsgate. Although what I'm feeling really called towards is to also include in the coming full moon in Aquarius with the sun in Leo on the 3rd. And so there's some keywords coming in. There's betrayal, that's one. Masquerade, especially masquerade ending, masks coming off. Purging, that's been a pretty big one. Focus has been another. Patience has been another big one. Transformation. There's been a lot of number 13s coming up, which is the death card. It's funny, see the timing on there. What I'm sensing is that there is likely going to be, or has already started, a period of kind of quiet, a little bit of solitude, and I'm sensing kind of, so for a lot of divine feminines who have been doing their work, they're feeling the pull of their masculines freeing themselves from various karmic situations and really having to sit and be patient and just kind of like if you were sitting in the quiet in the snow and just enjoying that silent and that kind of sweet smell, just walking in it, hearing the crunch under your feet. And for the masculines, it's a combination of learning to recognize that they've kind of been in an emotional, I don't want to say abyss, and tundra, that's the word, an emotional tundra, kind of just this icy desert where, they've kind of been like the polar bear. They've been out there looking and looking, trying to find seals underneath layers and layers of ice and smashing their heads into it and not finding what they were hunting for. And they're really feeling, they're feeling the call to actually heal. And there's a lot of masculines that are. Although what I'm getting the sense of is that with this Lionsgate energy, and especially with the Aquarius energy mixing into the game, and Saturn being retrograde in Capricorn, which is like the King of Pentacles, so there's still a fair number of restrictions. And Saturn is all about karma too, so it's, they're being held back until they actually understand the lessons, not just let them go. Like that they've asked for help whether they recognize it or not, and it's coming, and it's coming right now, and they're really thinking about their feminines a lot, and their feminines are thinking about them. But I wouldn't be surprised for many of you feminines, whether you're new or been on this journey for decades, might start noticing your DM's astral self coming to visit you a lot, maybe in dreams. They're having a lot of dreams of us. I know that early on in the year, a lot of divine femmes are having a lot of dreams of their masculines, and both sides are having dreams now, but for a lot of masculines awakening, they're having dreams that they didn't expect to have, and there's a lot of them coming in because they've been removing the mask. They've been calling their own bluffs. They've been owning their own BS, and they've been freeing themselves from situations that no longer serve them. And the mask that they've been wearing for a long time when they've not been in their divine energy is becoming so heavy. And for those that have been afraid of conflict or have been avoiding facing their inner demons, that energy, like spirit, is bringing in all sorts of towers, making that mask way too heavy, letting people use them, letting themselves be walked on. Anything that has been holding them back from their path, spirit is removing that mask, and it's taking them through a series of what I call phoenix moments, which I relate to the death card. And if you think about it, the number 4 is within the 13, so the Emperor exists within the death card, and that's because it's the contrast that we are reborn through, and these masculines and feminines are doing it too. We reflect each other, but we're sometimes on a little bit different timeline. I think most femmes are actually watching this occur with their masculines after having gone through a lot of it themselves, and that's why we're getting a lot of this patience energy, patience. Well, our masculines really learn to allow themselves to be reborn. They're learning to welcome it in, and these phoenix moments come in and they burn them up and they burn away all of the old self stuff. And as that stuff starts to burn away, they start to it's funny. So you take the word remember. So it's remember. So they start to remember who they are, who they've been, who we femmes have been reminding them they are, that they're good people, they're kind people, they don't sit in low vibe energy like that, and not because it's bad, not because they're judging anyone, just because it isn't a part of their path, it isn't who they are. And as we have worked on ourselves and glowed up and been through our phoenix moments and allowed all the old layers to be burned away, a lot of us are starting to awaken, if you haven't yet, like awaken to the fact that every time your DM has ghosted you or not given you the attention you wanted, or done different triggering things, and that you have chosen to use that for healing and chosen to stay with the connection, that you've been healed by that. And the masculines are now in this energy of realizing that very same thing, that you have been there to help them go through these moments. And for those that have been in third-party karmic situations, they're recognizing that the karmic third parties have also been, not necessarily helping them, but they've been providing them with the situations to let go of those karmic lessons. And it's funny because a lot of them probably would have stayed. They probably would have stayed in that same energy, but there you were. And you were playing your own tune and going by the beat of your own drummer, all at the same time, while somehow, in their eyes, miraculously singing their heart song to them, just quietly, like a little wood flute in the background, not pressuring, not pushing, just doing your little song and doing your own thing. And they've been inspired by that. And for a lot of them, they've gotten into messes that require a little bit more than an optimistic attitude to get out of, but this is a good thing, because a lot of them needed to learn courage. A lot of them were not aware that they have been afraid, that they grew up being taught not to be afraid and not to let their emotions get to them and not to listen to their heart songs. And sometimes the funny thing about a twin flame journey is that each one or both of us will come from a place where we feel our heart leading us towards somebody, but they're not like anybody from our circle. And then we find ourselves feeling alone, and the people that are around us say, no, 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 don't go towards that person, stay here in the low level energy where you've always been, don't go towards that person, they raise your vibration. And then we don't get to delight in the misery of the things that you're going through. And then we have to decide, like, do we want to stay in our old lives? Do we want to listen to that? Or do we want to glow up? Do we want to take the chance to go down that rabbit hole to explore more of life, what life has to offer? I think that a lot of divine masculines right now are already, in fact, I know, because I I get plenty of confirmation between my own twin flame journey and the clients that come and work with me, that there are plenty of masculines who are well on their way. And what I sense is that by the 3rd, in the full moon in Aquarius, we're going to see a lot of them speaking up, especially because Aquarius is kind of that activism energy. And then being in the sun in Leo, that's personal power. That's solar plexus. That's, emperor, boss up kind of energy. And if you're not already seeing it, you're going to start really seeing it. And that's only 5 days away from the 8th, which is Lionsgate. And 5 right there, that's the Hierophant. That's, that's commitments and higher learning. That's the Aquarius card even. So right there, we've got energy of 3, Empress. We've got the energy of 5, Hierophant. The Emperor of 8, Strength, the Strength card. And what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, and what I feel like Spirit is having me share with you is that in these quiet moments, just picture, whether you're DM or DF, just picture the seed that it gets planted and it cracks open and then it reaches towards the light. And it's a struggle, yes, but it keeps they keep going, they keep pushing, they keep climbing. And then they become a mighty oak. They become this huge tree that is able to feed itself and give life to tons of creatures all around it. It's able to support so much just in being itself. And it becomes a part of the whole wide web of things. So right now, if you're waiting on somebody, just work on something that brings you joy and know that the universe is bringing you everything that you've asked for. And send prayers to anybody that you're waiting on. And if you're the one in the middle of releasing things, accept this energy. Accept the push. Just one more push. Breathe, push. Breathe, push.